Hello guys, welcome to my channel Tuned to Linux. In this video I'm going to discuss and demonstrate about LVM host tagging. Okay, so like I said in my previous video, I have discussed about DLM clvmd and I'm going to discuss host tagging in this video. Okay, so in order to start and do the changes for host tagging, we need to know what are the prerequisites. Okay, so and what we need to do before starting or using LVM host tagging. Okay, so for now, in my previous video what I did, I have configured clvmd. So in if you are going to use host tagging, you have to remove clvmd because host tagging, LVM hosting is an alternate for clvmd, so at once or simultaneously you cannot use both, right? So you have to remove this and instead I'm going to use host tagging. So first what I will do, I'm going to remove this LVMD and then I'm going to use host tagging. So in order to do that, first what I have to do, VGS, and I see this is a cluster aware logical volume, so I have to make this to normal VG. So I have to do VG change minus CN, which is for no, I'm not going to use this VG is as cluster aware, so VG change CN. So now if I do VGS, I can see that flag has been gone and it is not showing here. And to ensure, I can show you here also, so that cluster option is not there anywhere, so I'm good. So now I just made the changes in volume, but I have to remove those primitive group and clone which is created for this DLM and clvmd, right? So those I'm going to remove. So if I do a crm underscore mon r1, I can see this group and I can remove them from like edit and I can remove it, right? But it will not going to allow me until and unless I stop this resource group. So what I'm going to do, I have to stop this resource group first, stop, and let me ensure this is stop on both the nodes. So let me, sorry, so yeah, so let's see whether it is stopped or not. Yeah, so now it is stopped and I'm good to remove them. So this is one way we can remove. So I'm removing the clvmd primitive first and then I'm going to remove DLM and also regarding CLVM and DLM group, and this is for clone set, right? So that's it. So this is what you require to remove it. So once I saved it, here you can still see pending, but it should be good. Yeah, now it is good. So now if I do crm underscore mon r1, I see that DLM resource group has been gone from here and it is not there. So that was the next part, and third part, what I have to do is VGS. I have to add this VG in lvm.conf file, right? So what I'm going to do is what are the VGs you are going to specify in lvm.conf file, that VG is going to start by the cluster. So it is like okay, let me take it in another way, like volume underscore list lvm.conf. if I do, so now it is hashed and it is saying vg1 and something like that, other text information it is given. So it says if volume list is defined, each LV is only activated if there is a okay, so it is not giving much information, but anyway, so what are the volume group you will going to specify here, those volume group is not going to start by operating system, right? So normally when I shut down this system and start this system, by default I see this volume group has been activated and started, right? So if I specify this volume group in this line, it will not going to start by operating system, it will going to take care of by clusters. So cluster will only going to start this volume group, not by the OS, right? So for now I do not have any operating system volume group, instead I have these two volume group. So this is not part of cluster, so I will what I will going to do is I'm going to use DataVG, which I want to start as start by the cluster. So I will edit that settings. So let me go back to this file lvm.conf and let me search for volume underscore list, and this is the line. Okay, so let me copy this line, same thing, and let me edit it. I don't need this many, I have only one VG, so I just say test VG, right? So what OS operating system will going to do is, operating system going to activate only the test VG when the system is boot up, right? So I just specify the test VG here, and now what I'm trying to do is, let me try to activate VG change minus C VG change minus A1 AY to activate, and try to activate data VG. What it says, no activation data VG, since it is not passed the activation filter in lvm.conf file, right? And there are two data VG, two LVM running in this data VG. It is not able to activate. So this is what it says. So now what I have to do is, I have to okay, so I have to change some setting in cluster configuration. So if I do crm configure edit, and here in LVM section, okay, so before that, 1 minute, if I run this command, where is that command? I just don't recall that command, every time I forgot. So let me see where I okay, so VGS, okay, tag, okay, or TAG. Okay, so let me do one thing, let me go back to this here. Okay, so here I have specify that command VGS minus OGV. Let me see whether I can copy. No, I cannot, so I have to type it. Okay, so VGS minus OVG underscore name comma text. If I do this, now I see there is no text specified for this volume groups, right? It should specify for the tags for data VG, but here it is not specifying, because I have updated this data VG in lvm.conf file and saying that sorry, that data VG has to start by cluster, and you have to specify the tag. So it is not specifying. So now what I will do, I will first stop it to ensure that my system is not fenced. So it is always better to stop the LVM before you enable the tagging. Okay, so I stopped it, and now what I'm going to do, crm configure edit, and for the VG data VG, where it is here. So for the VG data VG, I have to specify exclusive option. So what is exclusive option? I will show you. crm array info ocf heartbeat LVM. If you do this, you will see what is exclusive option and what is their use. If set the volume group will activate exclusively, this option works one of two ways. If the volume group has the cluster attribute sets, then volume group will be activated exclusively using clvmd across the cluster. If the cluster attributes is not set, that means the one which we said vg change minus cy, we did that, right? So and now we removed it. So if that is not set, then the volume group will be activated exclusively using a tag and the volume list filter. When the tag option is in use, the volume list in lvm.conf file must be initiated. This can be as simple as setting volume underscore list and define those settings, right? So tag strings, and the default tag name is pacemaker. So exclusive activation tag. If exclusive is set on a non-cluster volume group, this override the tag to be used. So if you have specified any name, but it will going to override as pacemaker. So anyway, I have not specified any name, and I'm going to use the default one as primitives. Okay, so let me come out. Okay, so now okay, I have to do one more thing before that, because if I do LVM what is it, volume underscore list lvm.conf, and here you still see that option is not populated, right? So what are the changes I did in node 1? So that changes has been not populated here. So I have to ensure that. How do I ensure? I have shown you one command earlier in my videos, that the cluster wide changes we do through csync command. So through that you can sync your command. I have not initiated that command, and why I have not initiated, because I wanted to show you whether that lvm dot see lvm.conf file is listed in this file or not. Okay, so let me see. So it is included. So that means if I now sync it, it will sync to the other node. So what are the changes I did it here in this node? It should populate to other node as well. So let me say sync minus xp. Done. So what it says, it has updated the LVM changes which I have done in node 1 to node 2, finish with 0 error. Excellent. So now we are good, and if I check here, I can see the test VG which is added. Fine. So what I was supposed to do, I was supposed to configure the exclusive option. So crm configure edit, you can directly go to that volume, and here I will say exclusive equal to yes. You can put that in double quote and If you do not specify, that is also fine, but I'm good. So now let me save it. I just save that as exclusive and tell that cluster this LVM is now uh, going to take care of by you, and you have to specify a tagging, and you have to start that volume group. So that was it, what I have done. And now history, and where's that command? Tag, where did I run that command? Not sure why it is not coming. Okay, I always forget that command again. I have to check that. 1 minute here. VGS. Okay, so VGS minus OVG underscore name comma text. Fine. So now if I run this, it is not showing the tag, right? And also my resource group for this LVM is stop state. So let me start it. CRM resource start resource group name, and it is pending started. Great, so it is started. So now how will I ensure that we have the tagging? So now if I run this command again, and I see there is a tag called pacemaker. So default it is pacemaker. If you specify any name also, but it will going to overwrite as it says in the configuration file, right? So this is the tagging. And now for example someone, this is the basic basic concept of host tagging. And now for example in node 2 I wanted to activate data VG, and let's see what it says. See, it says this data VG, since it doesn't have the activation filter, so it is not going to activate it. So this also ensure that if somebody by mistakenly, if there is a not tagging specify, if you're not using tagging, and if somebody tries to activate the VG by mistakenly, and he's not aware that VG is a part of cluster, it will not going to allow you to activate the VG. So it will again help you to avoid inconsistency of data. So that is the reason we mainly use this host tagging. So for example in clvmd we use cluster flag C flag, right? So in one node wherever that VG is activated and mounted, it will show that C flag, and you will be able to see that cluster equal to yes in VG display output. And the other node where it is not mounted, and you won't be able to see that is an active state. And probably when somebody is not aware that the volume group is a part of cluster, and by mistakenly he tries to start the volume group, so when he tries to start the volume group, he would be able to start it. But in that case there would be an inconsistency in LVM metadata, and you might lose the data, right? So in that way your LVM host tagging helps you to prevent that. And if you enable this host tagging, and somebody tries to enable VG which is not active on the system, the other node, the failover node, if somebody tries to activate that VG, it will not allow you to activate that VG. So it will give you an error or message saying like this is not match the parameter in LVM filter. So this is what it will say. So this is the reason we basically use host tagging, and this is how we see how host tagging has specified, and pacemaker is a default tag name. Okay, and let me do a quick recap of what are the requirements you needed to convert your CLVM from CLVM to host tagging. First, you have to remove your cluster flag from your volume group. So you have to do vg change vg change minus cn vg name. Okay, so once you deactivate this, then you have to stop your resource group for clvmd or dlm crm resource, stop your dlm clvmd resource group. And third, what you have to do, you have to enable your tagging in volume list. You have to specify your OS VG, which is not a part of cluster. Those VGs you have to specify by commas. OS VG, root VG, or whatever the VG you are using, which is not part of cluster. And once you do that, you have to ensure that you have synced that file to all cluster node running this command, right? So once it is synced, now what you have to do is you have to configure your LVM section in your crm configure edit. Go inside this, and for that LVM you have to use exclusive equal to yes. So this option you have to, this string you have to use. So once you do that, then again you have to start crm resource start. You can start your resource group, right? And once you're done with that, later you can specify run this command and see whether tagging has been enabled or not, right? So those are the steps you have to follow. Here cpg change I have forgot to mention minus, so you can specify that. So these are the basic steps which you need to convert your CLVM logical volume to host tagging, LVM host tagging. Okay, so let me know if you have any doubts while you do that. If you have any query, please write your query in YouTube comment section, and also please subscribe my channel for more videos. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good day.